Hi guys, it's VEDA day 18. So I just woke up from a nap, and in response to Christopher Allen's video about attractiveness, I decided not to really do anything about how I look, so this is how I look when I wake up from a nap, I guess. Still feeling really groggy though. This video comes to you in 3 parts. Part 1, last night. I'm not much of a nap taker, but today I needed it because I got 4 hours of sleep last night. So last night was my first big VEDA hangout in a while. It was my first time directly interacting with a lot of the people that I've met so far. I saw some very old and familiar faces, which was lovely, but I also got to see some new faces, and they were all fantastic. I wound up having a really great time and finding out things that I didn't know before. Like the fact that fellow VEDAR Sabina, aka Spirantize, has a sister who not only goes to my school, but is in one of my classes. What are the odds? I also wound up talking to people that I hadn't really interacted with before. For example, I became kind of close with Peas and Carrots 92, aka Magaly. We were talking about Queens, which is her hometown, and my mom's hometown, and we talked about Christopher Walken, which made her almost cry. And in talking, we found that we had a lot in common. Like, for example, we're both big fans of Duran Duran, which is pretty awesome. Magaly, ya taste is hella tight. Part 2. This is 4. Part 2, Life Improvements. I recently watched a video by my friend Max, aka Haystix, and he talked a lot about life improvements. This made me think a lot about the things that I've been trying to improve on in my own life, and I mean more than just like the job stuff and like writing and video blogging. Lately I've been working a lot on my people skills. Because I'm pretty extroverted and I'm always willing to go out and make friends, I always thought that I was a pretty good people person. But it turns out that there's a lot more to being a people person than just being able to initiate your friendships. Last year I reached a point where I thought that I'd self-actualized a bit and things were complete in my life and I knew what I was doing, but it turns out that I was wrong. Just like anybody else, I have my virtues and my vices, and while my virtues are nice to think about, I'd really like to work on my vices. I think my biggest vice is that I can be pretty self-centered at times. This is especially true when I'm upset about something or I have a problem, because it makes it difficult for me to imagine people as complexly as they are. And I sometimes have a hard time imagining that people are thinking about things differently than I am. Another vice I have is that sometimes I can judge people a little too harshly based on first interactions. For example, there was a vlogger of about medium level popularity that I met last summer at VidCon. I won't name names or anything, but when I went to say hi to her, I felt like she kind of brushed me off, even though she did say hi back. And because I was kind of having a bad day, I felt a little bit hurt by that interaction, more so than I probably should have been. Because I didn't really know her that well, I passed a judgment on her, and I didn't really think that well of her for a while after that. But because I've been reevaluating my people skills, I decided to check her out on Tumblr and YouTube, and I decided that she is kind of really a nice person, and maybe I made a bad judgment. And I'm pretty sure she didn't mean to make me feel the way I did. Inevitably, I'm going to continue to make mistakes like everybody else in judgment, but the important part is that I'm going to try to minimize these mistakes as much as possible. Part 3, quick life update. Someone from Tumblr sent me a message asking me to answer a bunch of questions, so I'm gonna do that. Age? 19. Interests? YA novels, Nerdfighteria, critical theory, and Netflix. Hobbies? Video blogging, reading, writing, and going on adventures. Single or not? Single like a packet of cheese. Future plans. Short term, go home for the summer and work and write a lot. Long term, live in Amsterdam for a summer. Favorites of things. Book, Paper Towns by John Green. Movie, Love Actually, and TV show, How I Met Your Mother. Least favorites of things. Book, The Metamorphosis by Kafka. Movie, White Oleander, and TV show, The King of Queens. That is all I have for you today, children. I'll see you all soon. Bye. The great thing about VEDA Hangouts and video blogging is that nobody has to know when you're not wearing any pants.